5. Lovely group of schools presents a video of social study, grade 5. This is a book of environmental studies looking around. Chapter 22, On the Move Again. First of all, aims and objectives of this chapter. This chapter tells us about Dhanu and his family. It tells the importance of joint family, love and brotherhood among them. This chapter tells us migration, its reasons and effects. Mind mapping. The topic is Mukaddam. He is an agent. He gives job to the villagers. He lends money to the villagers and he is an advisor of the villagers too. Let's have a reading of this page. Today all the relatives have come to Dhanu's house to celebrate the Shera. They have come with their luggage in their bullock carts. Dhanu's father is a eldest in the family, so all the festivals are celebrated at their house. Dhanu's mother, Ai, and the wife of mother's brother, Mami, and the wife of father's brother, Kaki, are busy making Puran Poli, sweet roti made from jaggery and gram. Along with this, a spicy curry dish is also made. The day passes in laughing and chatting, but by evening, everyone's mood changes. The women and children begin to pack their luggage. The men sit down with the Mukaddam, agent who lends money, for the meeting. The Mukaddam gives the details of the loan taken by each family. Children, in this page, the writer has told us that on the eve of the Shera, today's the Shera and all are celebrating the Shera at Dhanu's house as his father is the eldest member in the family. So the whole family has come to Dhanu's house to celebrate the Shera. And all the women like Ai, Kaki, Mami, they are making Puran Poli. The children are laughing, chatting, but by the evening everyone's started packing their luggage because they have to move. This picture shows that on the eve of the Shera, how Mami, Ai and Kaki, they are making Puran Poli. Puran Poli is a sweet roti made from jaggery and gram. Along with Puran Poli, a spicy curry is also prepared on the event of the Shera. This is Mukaddam. Mukaddam explained to the villagers in which areas they would go for the next 6 months. He also gives them some money as loan for their expenses. Families like Dhanu's work on the lands of big farmers till the Shera before the rainy season. Many other families also work on such land. They earn just enough money to keep them going through these months. But when there is no rain and no work in the field, everyone borrows money from the Mukaddam. To pay back this money, they have to work for the Mukaddam. As I have told that Mukaddam is an agent for sugarcane factories. He helps all the farmers to find work in sugarcane fields. So let's watch a story.
Explore more about the topics you love with Topper. Subscribe now and keep learning.
In the fields. So let's watch a story on the move again.
As you might already know, a lot of the people in our country are farmers and they work on their fields. So how do you think their lives are? Is it easy or is it difficult? Well, during the times of the year when there is enough rain, they are able to grow their crops and they're able to harvest the crops and then sell them in order to survive by getting money. But have you ever wondered what happens when there is no rain? So in many cases, in many villages, farmers can only work for about 6 months in the year when there is sufficient rain for them to grow their crops. What do they do during the other 6 months of the year when there is no rain? Well, in many cases, all the farmers, before those 6 months of no rain, they take out loans from a particular person and then they repay them during the next season when they're able to get more crops. However, another option that they have is that they start looking for other jobs. What kind of jobs do you think they could do when you already know that they're farmers? Well, they usually can work on sugarcane fields because sugarcane can be grown during these dry seasons. Or they could also help do other odd jobs or small jobs that could be near their village, or sometimes they have to move really far off to other villages where there are sugarcane fields or where they can find some or the other job to do. Lives like this are very difficult because they have to leave behind their homes and their farms, and certain people, they stay back in the villages to look after the household while the rest of the family goes and moves in order to do other jobs during those 6 months of the year. Who do you think stays back in the villages? Well, this includes mainly the older members of the family, or it could have any sick members or injured members of the family who cannot make the move or cannot move to the other villages, or it could include really small children who need to be taken care of. So there is always somebody left behind at the village, and so the village still runs. There is somebody looking after the things over there. But moving is never an easy thing to do, and it's difficult, especially for the case of children. Can you imagine what the effects would be of moving from your village to another village for work, and that too for 6 months? Imagine that a child has to move along with their family in order to help their parents with the other job. They'd have to leave their school. So for 6 months of the year, they're not able to attend school and they're not able to continue with their education. This affects their education and their studies and ultimately their future. So what is the solution to this problem? Well, for one, there could be some way in which they could get admitted to another school in the village where they go. And villages that know that this happens, where farmers work in one village on their own farms or on the farms of their landlords for about 6 months of the year, and then have to shift to working in another village for the next 6 months where it is dry and where there's no rain, they can make arrangements for children where they can study in the schools in both places such that their education is not hampered and they can continue studying. Do you think this process of farmers moving from one village to another place because of the dry seasons still happens today? Well, nowadays, luckily for us and for the farmers, water can be sent to the fields even during dry seasons. Now, this is made possible through the use of tube wells, canals, or different water irrigation systems that allow water to be supplied to fields throughout the year. And this solves the problem of the farmers moving because they can then grow crops all throughout the year without any tension. So farmers make up a very important part of our country, and we have to understand that they need our help in producing crops and in growing crops, and we have to respect the fact that whatever we have on our plates today, whatever food that we're getting, is all because of their efforts and because they decided to sacrifice their energy and their time and their efforts in order to give us food. And we have to make sure that we respect that and we look after the methods or the plans that we make in order to make sure that they're able to grow crops throughout the year and not just